Visio is a software tool that's used by many different types of organizations. I've installed Visio, so I'll go ahead and choose the All Apps. I could scroll down or just type in Visio and open it up. Microsoft purchased Visio many years ago and has made a lot of improvements to it and added it into the Microsoft 365 applications. Lots of different types of Visio documents we can create. We can even create a blank drawing as well. One of the most common ones you're going to create is going to be a network diagram. So I'll click on More Templates and type in network, and we'll get a search online. I'll just choose a basic network design. When you click it once, it gives you a couple of different types of network designs. You can choose one that's already been partially created or a blank template. And I'll choose the blank one and click Create. And what this does is it allows us to have the various different icons for basic networking on the left-hand side ready to be used. Take a look under Shapes. We have more shapes, and then you can go through and scroll down to the various different shapes that you'd like. But what's easier is if you can see them ahead of time, and that's under Network and Peripherals. So if I go ahead and choose the switch option, I can just left click, drag it to the center, and now I have a network switch as my backbone. I can then go ahead and make this larger by going to the bottom right corner or any one of those different dots, and I can expand. After double clicking on it, it's going to allow me to add some description of this particular switch. So I'll just call it backbone switch. And if that's not large enough for you, you can double click on it and choose under the Home tab plus for the A, or you can go smaller A and you can shrink it back down. I'm going to make it larger. You can also choose the drop down and you can change the font style as well. Now let's add in some devices into our network, including a wireless access point that you see here. Let's add in a server. We'll add in a firewall so we can get out to the internet. And if you don't see what you want, such as in this case, I want the cloud for the internet, I'll just type in cloud. And it should give me some cloud options that I can choose to represent the internet cloud. And here's a good picture of a cloud I can use. And I'm going to shrink that down a bit. I can double click on it and just type in Internet Cloud. And I'm going to do something similar for each of these other icons that we see here. All right, now we need to connect all these together so we know how this network is going to work. And we can do that using the connector that you see here under the Home tab. So I'll click on Connector, and now my cursor has changed. It's changed so I can left click and drag from one icon to another. Now I'm going to connect my switch to the firewall and the firewall to the cloud. So now we know the path that items are going to take, such as wireless laptops or even the server itself, to get out to the internet. It's going to go from the server to the switch, to the firewall, and out to the internet. We can also go up to where it says text and insert a text box. And I'll type in that this is my network. And it's not that large, so I'll go ahead and make it larger. And let's say we'd like to change some of the colors that you see here. I'll go ahead and highlight my access point after changing back to the pointer tool, and I'll make that green. I'll go to my server and I'll make it gray. I can also choose a theme by going to Design, and there's lots of different colored options here. Just by clicking a single button, I can change the entire theme of all my different icons. And I can go to the background that you see here and change by adding in a picture of the world. And the color matches my scheme. When I go to save this, I have multiple different options. So I'll go to File, save as. And what it's going to do when I choose the location is give me this pop-up box. And if I choose to save it as a Visio drawing, most people don't have this installed on their computer, so that makes it a little difficult. If I want to save the Visio drawing for myself to edit later, then that's fine. But since I want to send this off to someone else, I'll hit the drop down and I'm going to choose a PDF. Since everybody can open a PDF in their web browser or other application, and I'll just call this network for the name, and I'd like to save it to my desktop. And it's converted it, and now I can open it up. Next, I'd like to email this particular picture, and I can do that by opening up Outlook, and I'm going to create a new email. I'm just going to send this off to Jeff at Amazon.com because that's Jeff Bezos' email apparently. And I'm going to say my network. And here is my network. Now when I go to add this file in, you'll see you have more than one option. So when I go to drag it, you see it can upload to OneDrive. This is my OneDrive account that comes with Microsoft 365. And it's going to go ahead and create a link. So when Jeff sees my email, he's going to click on it and download that file. However, you could also just attach it, which is the traditional way of adding files in. So this is going to be attached to the email rather than just a link to OneDrive. I've chosen that particular way, but you can choose either one. I've chosen both in the past. And what's nice about not attaching the file is if it's a really large file, like 10 megabytes or larger, then a link won't be discarded the way a large file might be because there's limitations on that mail server. Now I'll go ahead and send this off to Jeff and see if he gets it. When you're teaching and supporting Visio, it's not going to be the same types of training that you would do for Word and Excel because most people already have some experience with a spreadsheet program and a word processing program. When you teach and support Visio, it's likely that it's the first time that a user has ever seen the program, and they're going to need to be walked through it just as I did for you here. Visio is used by many different types of industries to make sense of all types of physical and logical connections.